The rain came down in relentless sheets, drumming against the tiled roofs of Aegis City. Dark clouds churned above, lit by occasional flashes of lightning. Nearly everyone had locked themselves indoors, but not Kyro. He stood at the edge of the city's abandoned bridge, trembling, as if bracing himself for something only he could feel. "Just one more minute," Kyro whispered to himself, clutching the old pocket watch his late mother had left him. The clock was irregular, its hands spinning backward every midnight. Today was no exception. The watch ticked wildly in reverse, but Kyro knew this was the only way to summon him. "You've crossed the forbidden line again," came a voice from behind him, smooth yet sharp. Kyro froze mid-turn, his grip tightening on his watch. The speaker stepped out from the shadows. Rael, the enforcer of time, cloaked in black and silver. His crimson eyes glimmered like coals, and the curved blade at his hip hummed with latent power. "You weren't supposed to come here," Rael continued, eyeing the boy warily. "This bridge isn't for ordinary people." "I'm not ordinary," Kyro shot back, his voice firm despite the goosebumps crawling up his arm. "If this watch brought me here, then I have every right to be here." Kyro's voice was firm, each word punctuated by the relentless rain. Rael raised an eyebrow. For a fleeting moment, something like amusement flashed across his face, but it disappeared in an instant. "And what do you think waits for you here?" Rael asked, his voice smooth yet sharp. "Answers? Power? Or did someone trick you into believing the legends? You should know. Curiosity destroys the weak." Kyro straightened up, pointing a trembling finger at Rael. "I'm not leaving until you give me the truth. For years, you and your precious timekeepers have watched this city rot. Families disappear, gangs take over, and then there's my sister. She vanished 5 years ago, hours after the sky opened and people saw glowing lights near this bridge. You know something, don't you?" Rael's sharp, crimson eyes narrowed. "Your sister is none of my business." Before Kyro could finish his sentence, Rael moved. In the blink of an eye, the enforcer's blade was unsheathed, resting a hair's breadth from Kyro's neck. Kyro's breath hitched. He hadn't even seen the man move. "It will cost you," Rael said quietly, an eerie finality in his tone. "Everything." Lightning cracked across the sky, momentarily flooding the decrepit bridge in blue light. Kyro felt the air grow heavy, impossibly so, as if something ancient and unseen stirred at his defiance. And then, before Rael could lower his sword, a third voice boomed across the rain-soaked expanse. "Let him pass!" Rael stiffened visibly, something close to fear fluttering across his expression for the first time. Kyro turned toward the source of the voice, and his jaw dropped. A woman, if she could be called that, hovered several feet above the ground, her feet never touching the cold concrete. Her figure was wrapped in gauzy shadows, her eyes an otherworldly gold. Her presence commanded both awe and terror. "The boy seeks something greater than you can understand, Rael," she said, her voice a serene melody threaded with danger. "The watch chose him. It is not for you to interfere." Rael clenched his jaw. "Do not mock the rules of time, Seva. This bridge exists to protect balance. You should not." "This isn't your decision to make," Seva interrupted, her golden gaze meeting Rael's with icy authority. "Fear not, enforcer. If the boy cannot handle what lies ahead, the bridge will take care of him." She flicked her wrist, and Rael staggered backward as if struck by an invisible wave. Kyro glanced from the mysterious woman to the stunned enforcer. You mean," he stammered. "You're letting me cross?" Seva lowered herself to the ground, her golden eyes boring into Kyro with unnerving intensity. She bent slightly, almost brushing her face against his, and whispered one word, "Run." "What?" he gasped. "Run!" The ground beneath them erupted like shattered glass. The ornate stonework crumbled rapidly, fracturing into floating islands that rotated in midair. A heavy force threw Kyro forward as the world twisted violently around him. One moment, it was night with thunderclouds above. The next, he was surrounded by kaleidoscopic light, standing on an endless path of floating tiles. But this was no ordinary bridge. Colors shifted unpredictably, the tiles shifting shape and direction in different spaces. "This is the trial?" Kyro murmured, shocked. "You have 12 minutes, Siva's disembodied voice echoed, surrounding him with an eerie omnipresence. "If your soul wavers, the bridge will devour you." "Devour?" Kyro exclaimed, spinning around. The path ahead of him suddenly cracked. It no longer led straight forward. Instead, the tiles rose and fell like jigsaw puzzles, splitting off into multiple twisting directions. Worse still, glowing flames emerged from the distance, racing toward him. "I didn't sign up for this." "Was someone or something chasing him?" Kyro growled, clutching the pocket watch. Its hands twirled backward ever faster now, emitting a blinding blue glow. He felt it thrum against his palm like a heartbeat, syncing with his own pulse. The first blast came before he could think. A fiery projectile shot past him, searing the air with an intense heat. He ducked just as another came for his chest, narrowly avoiding it. When he glanced behind him, his heart skipped a beat. Shadowy figures stood far in the distance, but they didn't look human. Their bodies were wrapped in flickering fire, their blank faces masked by shifting black smoke. Suddenly, a deep whisper slithered into his ears. "Turn back, mortal. Time will not forgive your defiance." "Yeah, like I'm listening to ghosts now," Kyro shouted, dashing forward. The bridge tiles beneath him jutted upward at dangerous angles, threatening to throw him into the abyss of shifting lights below. The flames grew closer with every second, the shadows in pursuit growing in both size and number. But he pressed on, driven by the glimmer of hope glowing faintly within the watch. Halfway down the bridge, a twisting column of fire shot directly in front of him, blocking the path. Kyro skidded to a halt, panting heavily. Why are you stopping me? I didn't do anything wrong. I just want to know what happened to her." The flames swirled, coalescing into a massive wall. Slowly, it began to take shape, an enormous figure with hollow, burning eyes, staring down at him. "Prove it," the entity demanded in a voice like rumbling thunder. "Prove your resolve." I don't understand," Kyro yelled, his breath hitching. Then, out of the fire, stepped a figure that made Kyro freeze in disbelief. It wasn't some silhouette or monstrous form. It was a girl with long raven black hair and a shy smile. The same girl whose face had haunted his memories for 5 years. His sister. "Aki," he whispered, taking a shaky step forward. But the figure tilted its head unnaturally, its movements jerky and cold. Those weren't his sister's eyes. They were hollow and golden, just like Seva's. "Your greatest fear lies ahead of you," the flame entity echoed. "Will you face her or run?" The sheer weight of hesitation hit Kyro like a ton of bricks. His legs trembled, and he felt a lump rise in his throat. If this thing wasn't Aki, then what was it? And if it was her, what had she turned into? But then he heard it, a faint voice echoing beneath the roar of the flames. A familiar voice. "Kyro, don't stop, please." It was Aki's voice, not twisted or hollowed, but hers, raw and desperate. A surge of adrenaline shot through Kyro's veins as he lunged forward, past the wall of fire, directly toward the figure wearing his sister's face. "Aki!" he cried, gripping the watch tightly, even as the flames curved dangerously around his skin. The moment his hand reached for her, the world erupted in light, pure, blinding light that engulfed him whole. And then there was silence. When Kyro opened his eyes, he was somewhere else entirely. A strange, glowing forest surrounded him, every tree and blade of grass shimmering with faint blue light. His pocket watch lay still in his palm, its hands unmoving. But there, just a few feet in front of him, was a single figure standing in the mist. It was her, Aki. And this time, there was no mistaking it. "Kyro," she said, her voice trembling. "You shouldn't have come here." The ground began to quake violently, sharp, inhuman shrieks coming from the woods. Shadows slithered between the trees, and Seva's golden eyes appeared once again in the mist. And then, as the first shadow burst from the trees, Aki whispered, "They're here."